Έλα εδώ, Νικόλα. Το βλέπεις το μπαράγκα. Έτσι πήγες.
Πρώτη.
Τη δεύτερη σου λέω, έτσι πήγες.
Πέρασα, δεν είχε.
Πάρε και εμένα μια μπανάνα και ένα νερό. Τον τόβολο. Τα νερά έχει μέσα στον πάγο, να πάρεις παγωμένα. Έχει ένα κουβάρι εκεί πέρα με πάγο μέσα. Και αυτά καλά είναι.
Κάθεται από εκεί, θα κάτσουμε.
Εντάξει, σε πόση ώρα είναι ο γόνας?
Κάνα μισό ώρα.
Εντάξει, εδώ θα είμαι εγώ.
Zawsze są codziennie, są dwa prądy, albo jest o 12 i tam 30, a ja musiałem być godzinę przed odprawą, więc wiesz, to najmniejsze nie jest zabierane albo to profile i sobie przyjść kawałek, dookoła.
Es un fallo muy bueno de su parte, porque con 60 hay muchos.
With success, real success, just the fabulous horse riders and the horses do today. Here at the World Championships, our farm strives with perfection to make affordable, high-quality healthcare and vitamins accessible for as many as possible. Our farmers the proud sponsor of current results at World Championship 2022, our Farm Healthy Days. And also our presenter likes to give you some messages. Let's make room for people. Dressage is a Danish manufacturing of bathroom solutions. We decided to produce high-quality toilet seats, and since 1975, we've also developed and manufactured flexible and adjustable bathroom and kitchen solutions for people with reduced mobility.
And welcome back to the BB Horse Arena. We are bringing you the Grade 1 competition. This evening we've had the Grade 4, Grade 2 competition going towards this team competition here in Herning, going over 2 days. We have 18 teams competing, all looking for that spot on the podium and also that qualification for Paris Paralympics in 2024. So France, as the host nation, having that team space automatically, but looking to put forward a strong team performance here as well. And here we have the start list for the Grade 1 competition. The first rider going down the centre line at 5:20 for Austria. Richard Sneakers will ride second after winning that individual gold just a few days ago. And that lineup of 8 riders all riding towards that team competition that goes on today and tomorrow across the 5 grades, with the scores over these 2 days just counting for that team competition, but also riders looking for that top 8 qualification spot for that freestyle spaces on Sunday. So top 8 riders from all the grades going through to the freestyle on Sunday, and that will be the scores combined from this team competition but also from the individual competition as well. So riders coming forward here both individually and representing a team. And the first rider in this class, riding for Austria, Julius Giancalapor, riding the 10-year-old gelding Heinrich IV. And Austria already has 3 riders that have been today, including Peppo Pook after his individual medal 2 days ago. So this will be Austria's final score for the team. Those 4 riders, so having the opportunity to have that drop score, just 3 scores counting, and the lowest score being the drop score. Julia finishing in 9th in the individual class 2 days ago. So looking to put in another solid performance to try and move up the rankings to finish in that top 8 overall to go through to the freestyle on Sunday. And in this Grade 1 class, so another grade using the 20x40 arena. Grade 1s, 2s and 3s in that 20x40, and we saw the Grade 4s earlier in the day in that 20x60 arena. But Grade 1s walk only, So grade 1's the highest level of disability. Riders are graded from 1 to 5, 1 being the most disabled and 5 being the least disabled. And riders are classified off horse initially, so that their strength and power and coordination is tested, and it's not a test of their riding ability. Riders in this grade are allowed to have their horse schooled for up to 30 minutes by another rider, so by an able-bodied rider or trainer, to help with the safety of the rider and make sure the horse is relaxed. But the riders must be on the horse the 15 minutes before the test, so no other rider can be on this horse in that period of time. The horse looking a little bit, getting more settled as the test moves on. Just a little bit of tension at the start and slightly distracted. It's just settled down now into a nice relaxed rhythm, and she's pulling in some good marks for the work she's showing. Choosing to ride in a double bridle. Riders have the option to ride in a snaffle or double. And you see there that split rein setup. So instead of having those two separate reins to hold, riders that struggle with coordination or grip or need those loops to hold the reins, it means that there's less for them to hold, and you adjust the setup on the curb so that you can just take that pressure off the curb, and you can adjust how this influences the horse and the feel in the mouth. But you can't do this while you're riding. This is an adjustment that has to be made when the horse is stopped outside the test. So she doesn't have that ability to adjust that like the riders, the able-bodied riders would, that have two separate reins. So it has added challenges. And showing some really nice stretch there, the horse just taking that rein forwards and down, and Julia there having to lean forwards to allow the horse to do that. Not so some riders will be able to let the rein slip through their hands to give them the space, but for others that struggle with the grip and that holding the rein, that can be really difficult to then get the rein back. So you'll see a lot of riders in this grade opting to lean forwards and keep that connection. And a really good halt to finish. And a really nice test that improved as it went on, and showing some really consistent work there, and she is delighted. Very, very happy rider. And the horse just walking out on a loose rein. Again, a big atmosphere for a lot of these horses. The venue getting busier for the show jumping later on today, on this evening. So a lot of spectators in the arena, a lot of people walking around the trade stands, and just in that top corner they can actually see out over the shopping village, and a lot of people walking around, so really testing these horses' concentration and focus. And we should just get her marks through in a moment. And judge at E, 70.536, H, 72.321, C, 70.714, M, 69.464, and B, 75. So leaving that final score being 71.607, and there we have Austria's total 213.655, their last rider to go. And a really good score to put forward for Austria there. And next into the arena, not riding for a team, Latvia with just 2 riders here, but riding as an individual to try to secure that top 8 placing overall, with the scores being combined from this team competition and the individual competition, is Richard Snickers, who put in a very strong performance in the individual competition to bring home the gold medal and be crowned world champion.
Today presenting the 14-year-old Latvian breed, King of the Dance.
He rides the 14-year-old gelding King of the Dance. And scored a massive 78.535 to take that gold medal. This combination, a really, really super combination. He scored over 80% in Tokyo to win the individual, over 82% to take the silver medal in the individual, and over 82% to take the silver medal in the freestyle. Unbeaten this year in international competition. He will be looking for that second gold medal in the freestyle on Sunday, but first has to deliver another very strong score to get that qualification. Richard Snickers, King of the Dance. And it's really difficult in these walk-only tests to actually keep that same metronome rhythm. They have these smaller circles, changes of bend, changes of rein, and just keep the horse motivated, walking with impulsion, with energy, showing the swing in that big open walk. It's very difficult for them if they're a little bit tense or a little bit distracted, but this horse really, really confident in this arena with Richard, and they've got a really great partnership together. And this really allows him to just ride the movements and pick up those big marks. Just losing a little bit of rhythm there, just Richard picking him up his energy and getting a little bit of an overreaction there, but very quickly back. And these horses really need to be in tune with their riders, and it's so difficult to get that balance. So many disabilities lead to a slight involuntary movement or coordination challenges in these lower grades, and horses need to be not so sensitive that they respond to these changes of balance, and they need to know to ignore them and keep walking in this rhythm regardless, but also sensitive and responsive enough to be able to react to their light aids, because these riders don't have a lot of power. And the horses need to be able to listen to these really small signals and differentiate between an aid and an involuntary movement. And when you throw in having the temperament to do that and cope with an atmosphere, a championship atmosphere, and stay relaxed in a championship atmosphere, they really are very difficult to find. Just not quite square behind, but showing really good immobility for this halt. And it's that halt positioned in between two half 20-metre circles, so the rider has to really very quickly get the horse straight and in balance after the turn on the circle, and then very quickly into the new bend. And on the BE line, it really highlights if you haven't got that and if you haven't managed to achieve it. The judge at C seeing when you overshoot X, and the judges on the BE line really seeing that straightness, so there's nowhere to hide on that line. And a very good halt to finish. A super test from Rihad, just following on from that individual gold medal 2 days ago. And I love watching this combination. Just the bond that they have. He just, look how much he enjoys the crowd. He wants no silent waves, all the cheering. His horse loves it. That horse just waiting, saying, are we done? Did I do okay? And are they cheering for me? Yes, they are. Really one of my favourite partnerships to watch. Just so much enjoyment. And I think we are going to see something special here. The score's just about to come through. But what a ride. Riding as an individual. Here we have it. Absolutely incredible. Judge at E, 78.750. H, 80.714. C, 81.250, M, 81.964, and B, 79.286, which puts him on a final score of 80.393. Wow. Riding as an individual, looking for that qualification in that top spot for the freestyle, and I think he has nailed that. Gold 2 days ago, and now topping the 80%. Our first 80% of the competition. Absolutely incredible. And I cannot wait to see that freestyle test on Sunday. Wow, wow, wow. What a ride. So early on in this class as well. Absolutely incredible. And the next to go in this arena, representing Greece, Dimitra Eleni Pantichaki. He rides the 14-year-old mare Miss Olympia. Riding again as an individual. Greece with just 2 riders here at the World Championships. Both riding in this Grade 1 class. And riders having to get that crucial minimum eligibility score at the 3-star CPEDI in order to be here. So not just open based on individual nations criteria, that very solid MER score that riders have to achieve just to compete here, and then nations set their own criteria. Put in place full selection. So Greece with these 2 riders competing here, and Greece have really taken the time. They've just come back from a mini European tour of these 3-star competitions, and they've worked hard to really raise their game and put themselves out in front of some of the best in the world, and it's really paid off with the riding, with the scores, and it's such a massive commitment to get these horses and riders anywhere, but to travel them from Greece. I mean, they were telling us the journey and it was just going to take days, so they've worked really hard and really committed to doing that. And it really helps just seeing the best in the world, putting yourself in front of these international judges, getting their feedback. And then you know what you're looking for. So we have seen the benefits of that, so really well done for them to actually put the time, effort and resources into doing that. This horse really staying focused on her rider's aids and instructions, and really trying in this arena, keeping that walk rhythm, trying to keep that consistent throughout the movements. Test really challenging the rider to show changes of bend. Highlighting the suppleness when the horse has to adjust from left rein to right rein and adjust in the body weight and the new bend. You can see when the horse is able to do that, the rhythm stays consistent, it's not disrupted and just not quite squaring up. And again, quick into that half 20-meter circle here. And we've seen some horses really struggle in this atmosphere, but Miss Olympia taking it all in her stride, showing some nice stretch here. Just looking to keep that bend within the free walk, which is really tricky for those riders that need to lean forwards and keep the horse on that correct line. And a nice halt in front to finish. A very consistent performance again for Greece. The first of the two riders for Greece in this class. And riding again as an individual, this class being incredibly high scoring to try to qualify for that top 8. But this is a huge experience for these riders, and here are the scores. Judge at E 64.643, 8 61.429, C 65.536, M 66.607 and B 63.214 with a total of 64.286. She goes into 3rd place provisionally. So pretty consistent with the scores achieved in the individual, and really nice to do that at this World Championships as well, in a really, really competitive field. A big atmosphere, a big occasion, not just for the horses but for the riders too. So we really, us riders, just want to do our best at these competitions. So for her to go out there and ride really consistently is a testament to her. And we'll see the second rider for Greece later in this class. Just after the break, we'll go in the second group. Riding the very famous Tony the Pony. But next into the arena in this Grade 1 class, riding as an individual for Singapore, Laurentia Tan. Laurentia, a multi-medalist, no stranger to a championship. She finished in 4th place in the individual on a score of 73.678. And we'll be looking to put in another consistent performance to finish in the top 8 to go through for that freestyle on Sunday.
Coming forward as an individual competitor for the team. So please welcome now Laurentia Tan and Lisa from Singapore.
Entering the arena for Singapore, Laurentia Tan riding the 10-year-old gelding Hickstead. Laurentia just finishing outside the medal, so I'm sure will be keen to ride for challenge for that second individual medal opportunity in the freestyle. This horse just 10 years old. This will be a huge, huge experience for Hickstead. Going forward to Paris. She's riding with those looped reins that have multiple loops on them so that she can adjust them if she needs to. And many riders in this grade not having the strength and control to hold on to the reins and make that adjustment. So these loop reins, for those of us not able to hold the reins, are a lifesaver. The horse just keeping the rhythm consistent through this walk work. Not quite showing the suppleness that we just saw from Rehard earlier to get the big scores, but still showing some really nice work and picking up some good marks. And in these tests, they're so focused on the basic quality way of going. Really not just about performing the movements, but trying to perform them to a really high quality. That's where you pick up those higher marks. And there really isn't many places to hide in these tests. They're so focused on that quality of way of going, and not much to keep the horse's focus in terms of movement wise, but it really shows up that basic way of going and that quality of the walk. And almost squares up in front, but very nicely square behind, and a good solid test for Laurentia Tan and Singapore. This horse being really consistent this week. She has her friendly horse in here as well. Riders having the option to bring a friendly horse in to give the horse confidence in the arena, so they're not in the arena on their own. And we should have those scores through in a moment for you, but another strong test in this grade 1 class.
And total score of 73.429% from Singapore and Laurentia San and Kingston.
And here they are, judge at E, 74.286, H, 71.964, C, 73.929, M, 72.321, and B, 74.643, with a final score of 73.429, and sits provisionally in second place. We have just 4 riders left to go in this first group. And the judges, the same panel of judges, will be scoring all these tests for this team championship, just to try and get the most consistent scores across the grades. Every score really having the potential to count and make a difference to the final placings. So these judges have had a very long day today. But it's really good just having the same judges and just that consistent scoring across the grades. It's so difficult with this sport being subjective at the best of times, but just having those same judges, those same perspectives, looking for the same qualities, and hopefully giving a really consistent outcome for the team scores. So we're having Jeanette Wolfs from the Netherlands, Shell Meyer from Norway, Christy Wysocki from the USA, John Robinson from Great Britain, and Suzanne Cunningham from Australia. So a massive thank you to our judges.
Now presenting the third combination in the team competition is welcome Anne Frederique Royan and Thornborn.
And next into the arena, representing France, will be Anne Frederique Royan, riding the 12-year-old gelding Quarter Boy LH.
Ranked as number 10 on the API Fairness Transport individual ranking list of grade 1. And today presenting 12-year-old Manohana Quarter Boy LH, signed by quarterback, Saya Ben Dinero.
And she will be riding for the French team.
7.857 in the first qualifying.
France, obviously, as a host nation,
France already posted
not needing to qualify a team forward for Paris, but hoping to put in a strong performance as they build up their team for that Paralympic Games in 2024.
So now it's Anne Frederique Royan.
Anne is the third rider to come forward for France, already having those 2 scores from Celine and Vladimir in the grade 2 and 4 earlier today. And Chiara Zanatti coming forward in the grade 3 tomorrow to complete that team score. So entering the arena for France. Anne finished in 13th place in the individual. So she'll be hoping to post another solid score. This grade 1 being really competitive for that top 8 to qualify through for the freestyle. The top 8 all on scores of over 71%. But it's so nice that riders have the opportunity to come in the arena twice in this competition, whether they are competing for a team or not. Where previous championships, just the top 8 from the individual would go through for the freestyle, so if the riders weren't riding for the team and hadn't qualified, they would just be limited to that one opportunity in the arena, which is such a shame. It takes such a lot of effort for riders and horses to get here, and it's just really nice that they know that they'll have these 2 chances in the arena if they're just riding as an individual. And showing some really consistent work here in this walk test. The horse at times trying to get a little bit on the forehand. She's just doing her best to keep readjusting the balance and keep encouraging that self-carriage. Really nice steps there. Just going into this halt, and a super halt. Really nicely into that halt. Standing square and good mobility. And some good stretch there. Again, and needing to lean forwards to allow the rein, to give space for the horse to lower its head and neck. Just on this final centre line, and can she finish with another great halt? Yes, she can. Big pats. A really nice test to watch. Just so relaxing. The horse looks so happy. Really staying with the rider. And that completes the third test for France.
And the score for Frederic Royan and quarter 8.
And massive cheer, round of applause from the Kiss and Cry box. Look at that halt on there. And very well deserved. The score's just about to come through for you on the screen. From E, 69.464, H, 69.821, C, 71.071, M, 71.250, and B, 68.393. So a final score of 70, and currently down as the lowest score for France, so in that drop score, but France with 3 really good scores there, and just taking the pressure off Kira, who will go forward in the grade 3 tomorrow. Just really helps when those first 3 scores are solid ones, just to take the pressure off the 4th rider. France doing a really good job in their Paris preparations. So just this competition, the Europeans, and then that Paris Paralympic Games, that shorter cycle after Tokyo was postponed. So it feels like it's coming around a little bit quicker than usual. Just 3 riders left in this group. All 3 riding for teams in this grade 1 team competition.
She's a European Championship participant in Rotterdam, ranked as 13 on the applied character for individual ranking. This for grade 1, and today presenting the 17-year-old is father to Paul.
Next into the arena, representing Italy, Carola Sempaboni. She rides the 17-year-old gelding, Paul. Finished in 7th place in the individual competition on 72.107. So she will be looking to put forward a solid score for the team, but also another solid score for her individual quest to finish in that top 8 to qualify through for the freestyle. Entering the arena for Italy. And a nice halt to start, not quite showing that immobility. Could possibly have waited just a second longer just to show that off a little bit better. But again, the riders needing to respond to what they're feeling, so perhaps Paul was feeling keen to move on, and sometimes you have to go with what the horse offers to try and protect that and not create a mistake. And picking the marks up now in the walk work. This horse showing some nice bend on the circle and really staying in that consistent connection for her. Really, I was always told the medium walk should have the level of impulsion of a horse walking to its feed bucket, just struggling with that left side a little bit as she goes into that left circle. You want to see the horse marching positively. This horse is doing that quite nicely. And you can see her disability puts her legs a little bit away from the side of the horse. So she's really using her seat and body to influence the balance and the horse's alignment on these lines. And she has these two whips to back up the leg, but it really makes it difficult to control the horse's body and influence their rib cage when you haven't got that connection with the horse's side. But she's doing a really nice job of just keeping that same rhythm throughout all the movements and not disrupting it to try, and she's trying to influence the horse and trying to ask for that better body bend on the left side, but really not disrupting anything. It's just saying, just pick your head up, stay in the right balance. The horse just going into the halt a little bit on the forehand, but you could see her there just trying to influence the balance back and encourage that self-carriage even in the halt. So the horses you want the horse to step positively into the halt and be in that uphill balance ready for the move off. So you can see when the horse halts from back to front, the hind legs are underneath them and they close the halt first in the hind legs and secondly in front, and they stand in that uphill balance, and that enables that immobility. When they're on the forehand or on the rein, they want to either lean and run forwards, or they lean on the bit and then end up going backwards. When you have that even balance and nice uphill tendency, you're then ready for the move off. And a super halt to finish, very square, and big pats.
Team Italy, Paola Cipollone, presenting Paul.
A big pats for Paul and a great ride for Italy. Carola really showing the consistency this week, following on from the individual. And big cheers from the Italian supporters in the crowd and in the kiss and cry box. They are very happy with that. More cheers. And we should be bringing that score to you very shortly, but I think they will be very pleased about this. A very good sign for Italy. And here we have it. Judger E 72.857, H 73.750, C 71.071, M 71.786 and B 73.036 with a final score of 72.500. A very good score. First score for Italy, and the second rider for Italy will come forward in this class at the end of the class. Sara Morganti, the silver medalist from 2 days ago. So Carola putting a really good score forward for Italy to kick off their World Championship campaign and quest for Paris qualification, and also for her own individual top 8 qualification through to the freestyle. And we've got the second rider for that team, Sara, coming right at the end of this class at 5 to 8. Hoping to post another solid score for the team. And the other 2 riders will ride tomorrow. Francesca Salvadi in the grade 3 and Federica Cilioni in the grade 5. So they will have 2 scores at the end of today for their team competition, and just 2 more riders left in this first group. And next into the arena, Jens Lassedokken, representing Norway, riding the 14-year-old gelding Aladdin. This combination very, very experienced. Unfortunately, having that mistake in the individual, not halting, which is just a little bit expensive for Jens, but this horse so consistent. Finished in 5th place on 72.750, so very close. And leading him in, his lovely trainer. Groom looks after Aladdin, trains Jens. They're a very, very strong partnership themselves as well. These support teams behind us riders are so important and so influential. We work together so closely. Could not do this without all the people that make it possible. And they really do come on these journeys with us, and that's a really solid halt there. Jens just maintaining that immobility just to make the point that he is nailing that halt. Jens, I imagine, looking to improve and build on that individual position, but also wanting to ride, have that second chance to ride for an individual medal in that freestyle on Sunday. He's competed in many championships over the year. Was at the Atlanta 1996 Paralympics, so he has been a very familiar face on the para-dressage scene for a long time, and is still at the top of his game. really challenging those medals and performing at this championship level. Aladdin just getting a little bit deep on some of the circles, but showing that really nice, consistent rhythm that we're looking for in this test. That really good relaxation. Jens just trying to keep that engagement, keep him waiting and listening. You can see him just lifting his hands there, encouraging that head and neck carriage a little bit higher, shifting that balance back, whilst trying not to impact that walk rhythm. And unfortunately the bell has gone. He's just made an error, of course. This is not Jens weak for errors in the test. Just showing that it happens to the best of us. Again, so easily done. So he was so concentrating on that. And that quality of work and the way of going, and so easily done. You just have a momentary lapse. Very quickly back. Oh, and perfect square halt. Aladdin just squaring up there. Just leaning forward, allowing that head and neck to stretch out for that free walk. Really, it's such a tricky movement doing that on a half circle, because you can't really see as a rider where you're going, and it's really difficult to then influence the horse and the body when you're not in the saddle yourself. It's actually how I ride the free walk as well, and I really appreciate the challenges there. And into another really good halt for Jens. Showing really good immobility. I'm sure he'll be frustrated about that error, of course, but another really nice test from him, and hopefully enough to put him through to the freestyle. On Sunday. Another really nice combination, easy combination to watch, because the horse looks so relaxed, so settled with Jens. You just have complete confidence in them. And a big wave to the crowd at the end. Really enjoying his moment. And here's the score. Judge at E, 72.357. H, 73.607. C, 70.929. M, 70.393. And B, 71.643. With a final score of 71.786. So here the second score for Norway, and Catherine Lubb coming forward in the grade 3 tomorrow for Norway. So 2 scores down for Norway there. A really solid score from Jens. And their 4th rider will ride in the grade 5.
So now the team from Poland pushing forward, the 3rd participant in the team competition.
So now the final rider in this first group for the grade 1, riding for the team representing Poland. We have Magdalena Sajkak. She rides the 14-year-old mare Sibylla.
And the team from Poland already have results from Marseille Beeline and Liverpool with 63.146 and Monica Bartis and Kasper with 78.756.
So Poland already have 2 scores down from the grade 4 class earlier today. And their final rider will ride tomorrow in the grade 3, Dominic Ast. She goes into her first halt, ready to start the test. Finished in 14th place in the individual 2 days ago on a score of 67.393. Horse just taking a look as she comes around the corner, so you can see behind her how busy the venue is getting. As people arrive for the show jumping later as well, and it's so nice that the para-dressage is here alongside these other disciplines, and we've seen so many people walking around and stopping in to see what's going on in this arena that hadn't necessarily planned to come and watch, and it's really nice to get a new audience and an opportunity for them to see para-dressage and really appreciate it, and hopefully gain some interest in that. Some nice steps there on that centre line. The horse just settling with the rider, showing a little bit better consistency in the work. Some nice steps on that circle. The horse just bending around the leg. Could just have a little bit more impulsion sometimes in the walk, just on the turns. Just slowing down that little bit, just losing that activity. You can just see here, just a little bit too much neck bend on the circle. The horse just losing a little bit of impulsion out through the shoulder. When you can channel the energy equally between both sides and keep control of that body, the energy is channeled forwards. But that is where some of the challenges are for these riders anyway. But doing a really nice job here, and that's unfortunate. The horse just showing that bit of resistance coming onto that right rein. And then again, better that turn to the left, the horse finding that a little bit easier. Able to bend in the body. There's some really nice moments with this partnership. We could see there in the halt, squares up nicely in front, but not quite able to bring that hind leg underneath because the balance just a little bit too much at the front. But showed some good immobility and within that halt. Again, leaning forwards to give the rein and showing some nice stretch. The horse went into that nicely for that first half, just having a little bit of a look as she comes towards the marquee side, but staying with Magdalena and keeping that rhythm in the walk. And just unfortunately just snatching that rein in that final halt, but standing square and big pats. Lots of pats for this horse, trying really hard. And another solid test for Poland. And big smiles as she comes out the arena. So nice to see these riders enjoying their time in the arena. And we'll just bring those scores to you in a moment for this last rider in the first group of the Grade 1 competition. And they should be on the screen any moment. And here they are, judged at E, 64.464, H, 66.607, C, 65.893, M, 65.714, and B, 65.179. With a final score for Poland. And that third score, 65.571. So that puts them on a total of 134.327, provisionally in fifth. As you see, that top score being counted as a drop score at the moment. So some some riders, some teams with a full set of scores, but so far in this first group we've seen Richard Snickers, not riding for a team, riding as an individual for Latvia, score 80.393 and fly into a massive lead. Laurentia Tan in second place for Singapore, again riding as an individual, 73.429% with her test on Hickstead. And representing Italy for the Italian team, Carola Sempaboni posed 72.5% for a good start for Italy. And here are the current team standings for the Grade 1. Richard Snickers out in front for Latvia, riding as an individual, but on that massive score of 80.393. Laurentia Tan also riding as an individual for Singapore, 73.429. But Carola Sempaboni with that score for the Italian team, 72.500. And those scores for those individuals will play a massive part in qualifying them for the final on Sunday. And we now have a short break before we have the second group in the Grade 1 competition. So we'll be back at 6:52.
everything. We owe you more than words can say.
Grunden til, at vi har valgt at investere i et fitnesscenter, er, at vi selv har en ret stærk idrætskultur. Det er et naturligt led i det at være en moderne og attraktiv arbejdsplads i dag. Vi har fokuseret på, at det skal være nemt, det skal appellere til bredden, der skal være noget for enhver smag og nede. Det bliver brugt jævnt fordelt over hele dagen. Nogle vælger at møde ind om morgenen og træne før de skal på arbejde. Andre går ned mod efterdagen, hvor flere hoved i hvert fald trænet markant mere, efter de har fået sendt noget end før.
Selvfølgelig skal du føle dig hjemme under dine studieår. I Herning rækker din SU længere, og vi har masser af gode studieboliger. Det tætte samarbejde med erhvervslivet giver dig et godt netværk, hvad enten det gælder studiejobbet, praktikpladsen eller din fremtidige karriere.
So, welcome back at the BB Horse Arena in the Oriflame Healthcare FEI World Para Dressage Team Championship for Grade 1, presented by Dressage. First participant already in the arena now, representing the United States of America, Roxanne Trunnell, presenting Fortunato. Reigning double Paralympic champion and team bronze medalist in Tokyo and Paralympic participant in Rio, individual bronze medalist at the FEI World Equestrian Games from Triron 2018. Today presenting Fortunato by Floris Count, sire of Dan is Rascalino. In the first qualifier,
And welcome back for the second half of the Grade 1 competition for this team competition. The last group of riders to go, Roxanne Trunnell is the first one in for the USA. And she is just entering the arena now. Roxanne Trunnell riding the 6-year-old stallion Fortunato H2O. So Roxanne riding for the United States of America, their team. She was on outstanding form in Tokyo with the Dalton, taking double gold. She has her young horse here, just 6 years old, and really, really solid temperament. Kate putting forward a very good score for the USA this morning in the Grade 4, over 75%, so Roxanne hoping to post another solid score for the team. USA will be looking to break onto the podium here as a team and aiming to pick up a medal, but also that top 7 placings to get that qualification for the Paris Paralympics in 2024. And Roxanne is the 3rd rider for the USA going forwards today. Kate Shoemaker starting in the Grade 4 with a very good score, and Beatrice de Lavalette following in the Grade 2 as well. So already got two very nice scores for the team, and I know Roxanne will be hoping to contribute to that. Their 4th rider, Rebecca Hart, going tomorrow in the Grade 3. And showing a really solid start with this horse. She finished in 6th in the individual test on a score of 72.571. So the riders also riding as a team, but also looking to put another solid score forwards so that they can qualify in that top 8 that will go through for the freestyle. And this grade 1 class, so competitive with these, some very high scores. The horse just having a tiny look at that top corner, so just behind, just at the top of your screen, the horses can see out over the trade stands and shopping village. So there are a lot of people, the show jumping on later this evening, and a lot of people arriving and walking around. But again, very quickly coming back to Roxanne on a super halt. Really nicely square. Very good at mobility. This horse just looks better each time it comes in the arena. Unbelievable, just 6 years old. Roxanne seems to be very good at bringing these young horses into a championship environment and giving them a really nice ride. She did the same with Dalton, winning a bronze medal at the 2018 World Equestrian Games, and a really smart performance there on this 6-year-old. Very big response from the crowd and the American supporters. Some big cheers. So they have asked the audience to refrain from clapping in this class and just show their appreciation through waving. That silent appreciation, so as not to spook the horses. But we have seen with some horses that are okay, their support teams are going crazy. And this horse is clearly one that enjoys the applause. A great job for Roxanne and for the team. So America just waiting for those scores to come up there. And we should be able to bring you those scores any moment. I think it might be a solid score for Roxanne. And it definitely is that. Judge at E, 73.750, H, 75.714, C, 76.429, M, 74.821, and B, 75.357 with a total score of 75.214. And you see there, Beatrice putting forward so far the lowest score, which is still a massive 73%. So 2 scores of 75 from Roxanne and Kate, and that really solid score from Beatrice, 73 in the grade 2. And Rebecca will come forward in the grade 3 tomorrow to complete the quartet, but very confident performance from all 3 riders. And that just takes the pressure off Rebecca coming in as the 4th rider, knowing that they already have 3 good scores. And a super start to this second half. Roxanne posting a massive personal best with this horse. And this horse is just seems to get better each time it comes in the arena, and just 6 years old and really taking everything in his stride. So impressive to see. Another really impressive score there in this Grade 1 class. Roxanne sitting in that second place at the moment, and a really solid score for her individually to go through in that top 8 for the freestyle. And that will be very exciting to watch, going by this horse's progress this week. And next in, the next rider going down the centre line at 7:01. This rider will not be riding as part of a team. Greece just bringing 2 riders here to this championship, so both riding as individuals. And we saw Dimitra earlier in the class, but here he is coming through. And representing Greece, Mikhail Kalarakis. He rides the 15-year-old gelding Tony. Tony's got a massive fan base.
31 on the FEI priority start for individual ranking list for Grade 1. And here showing 15-year-old Tony, owned by Mariana Dramatic.
This combination has been part of the European tour that the Greek team have been on earlier this summer. So really putting themselves up against the best competitors so that they can try to improve, develop their riding and see what they need to do. Tony just having a really unfortunate spook at the top of the arena. The trainer just going up to meet him, and you saw other riders being led around the arena, but this horse not usually a spooky horse. But you can just see, there's a lot of cameras at the top, there's a lot of people walking past, but Mikhail just getting him through that, doing a really good job of managing that and staying cool, staying calm in the moment, giving the horse the reassurance that he needs to just get him around the edge. Looks like Tony's a bit more settled now. Entering the arena for Greece, Mikhail Kalarakis. Just unfortunately stepping back in that halt, but looking really straight on that centre line. Yesterday he finished 11th in the individual with a really good score of 68.429. So it'd be really great to see him put another solid performance forward. But a really nice recovery from that, because that can, from that spook around the edge, because that can really throw some riders. especially when it's slightly out of character and they're not used to having to deal with that. They didn't expect to need to deal with that, and showing some really mature riding by just dealing with that, putting that behind him, taking the time, and then riding on into this test. You can see him there just giving the rein and just asking him to just take that contact forward a little bit, just open out, not just coming back at him a little at times. You can see him there just really using his seat to try and encourage him to step forwards, pushing from the hind legs into that contact. Just working, really using his body, try and influence that walk. These riders most of them not having much, if any, power in the lower legs, so really using their body and weight to try and influence the horse and just open him out a little bit. Just where he's holding, just encouraging that forward motion. Sometimes when the horse is tense and you put the leg on to push them forwards into it, they just clam up a little bit, and yeah, you get that risk of the horse shortening its steps and actually anticipating the trot. And so here he's just really trying to use his seat and ask him to open that stride. Really careful riding here. Into this halt. Very nice in front, just fractionally out behind, but a nice balance, good immobility. Yeah, just getting that bigger stride. Really well ridden there. And I think you learn so much as riders by watching other riders, how they do things. You can learn, one way is not necessarily the best way for everyone, and it's so useful for riders going to those bigger competitions, seeing what other people do, whether that's different warm-up techniques, different tack, different riding styles, and just trying to work out what is best for you and your horse, and learning and using that to influence how you approach situations in your own riding. They're just encouraging him forwards, and a solid halt to finish, and very, very well managed and very well ridden. And he puts his hand in the air, punches the air. Thank you to the crowd, really enjoying the crowd support, and so nice to see. And just walking out on a loose rein there, big grins, big smile, a sigh of relief. so many riders just breathing that sigh of relief when they get through, either because it went well or just the relief that they'd managed to get through the test successfully. Sometimes we forget we are meant to enjoy this, but it just means so much to everyone.
So 7, judge fee 67.679, a total score of 66.82.
And the scores coming through on the screen just now. Judge at E, 65.893, H, 67.5, C, 66.429, M, 66.607, and B, 67.679, with a final score of 66.822. And that puts him provisionally into 8th place. We have 6 more riders to go in this Grade 1 class. And the next one is ready to arrive, just coming in now. Been led in by the Canadian team trainer Clive Milkins, representing Canada on Lieutenant Lobin, the 10-year-old, 18-year-old gelding, Judy Schloss. And Judy rides as part of that Canadian team.
Qualifier for the individual freestyle final, this combination got 68.179%. So first to go for Team Canada, welcome here, Judy Schloss and Lieutenant
Judy, the first to ride for Canada. Canada bringing just 3 riders forward for this team, so no drop score there. And Winona will go later in this Grade 1 class. Roberta going in the Grade 3 class tomorrow. And Judy finished in 12th place yesterday, the day before in the individual championship class on 68.179, just 2 days ago. Positive start for Judy. She's got a friendly horse in the arena with her, just to try and give this horse confidence. Some of them leaving the warm-up and coming into this environment on their own a little stressful. Oh, that's unfortunate. Just get that out the way before the rest of the test. Was just losing a little bit of balance. Judy getting that back. Just that little bit of tension. Just the horse holding a little bit. Not quite getting that relaxation and able to show the suppleness for the bigger marks. But keeping that walk rhythm consistent. You just saw that a little bit too much neck bend on that circle, and she just took her a little bit longer to then get the straightness back where the horse was just popping out through that left shoulder. But it was well recovered on the centre line and able to ride that straight centre line before this circle. Really looking for those smooth lines throughout all these movements, that flowing, effortless transition from movement to movement. Keeping that walk really consistent and steady. And just every now and again that having to readjust the horse and put it onto a different line, and it just interrupts that fluidity a little bit that we saw in some of the higher scoring tests. Just affecting the balance. You see the horse temporarily speed up or slow down, and then it just being readjusted. And you just want that really consistent, fluid movements. Unfortunately not square in the halt. And that's a really tricky movement to really score the high marks in that. You're coming off a half 20-metre circle, so you have 1 or 2 strides to really get the horse straight and prepare and set up for that halt. And the judges on the EB line really seeing that straightness, and the judge at C will really notice that accuracy on X on the centre line. So you have to be able to get that straightness really quickly before and have time to prepare for the halt, and have the horse in a really good place in order to get that square, straight, balanced halt. And that final centre line, final halt for Judy Schloss for Canada. Big round of applause from the Kiss and Cry box there.
So Team Canada.
And that first score for Canada, just 3 scores for the team, so all of them will need to count.
In other teams with 4 participants, 1 will be scratched.
And the team needing at least 1 rider from grade 1, 2 or 3, and actually Canada with all 3 riders in those lower grades, 2 in grade 1, so Winona coming later on, and Roberta in that grade 3 tomorrow.
And the scores for Judy Schloss and Lieutenant Lovin, judge at 63.393, judge at 66.786, judge at
and the scores just coming through for Jody in a moment.
Judge at 65.179, a total score of 65.179.
Here we have the judge at E, 63.393, H, 66.786, C, 64.107, M, 66.429, and B, 65.179. And that's a final score of 65.179, first score for Canada. That puts her into 10th place provisionally in this grade 1 class. The first score for Canada for that Canadian team, that qualification for Paris Paralympics.
For Brazil, we already saw Rodolfo Riscala and Don Henrico posting a 75.
And the next into the arena, representing Brazil, coming forward for that Brazilian team. They've got 4 riders here. Rodolfo riding earlier in the grade 4 with a very impressive score, 75%. Rodolfo taking that individual bronze medal for Brazil a couple of days ago.
Individual ranking list for grade 1.
And then we had Flammarion in the grade 2 as well, Sergio going in the grade 1 here, and Diego rides tomorrow in the grade 5 to complete that team score. So 3 scores we'll have for the Brazilian team at the end of today. But next into the arena, Sergio Froes Ribeiro de Oliva, 9-year-old gelding Millennium. And Sergio finished 15th individually, having a little bit of a challenging ride where the horse not always as settled as he would like. This horse really listening here today. Showing some consistent rhythmic steps on that walk, that first walk section. Oh, just very unfortunate timing again, just disrupting that movement. So frustrating. The horses really should. Really important to teach them to be able to keep going while they go to the loo. Very, very quickly recovered and back into the swing of things. Again, just using his inside leg to keep that focus on the inside and ask for that bend. And a nice change into that right bend as well. Just a little bit too much neck bend at times, and the horse just losing that balance, that energy and a bit of balance out through the left shoulder. To be super critical, but again nicely on that short diagonal and just keeping that rhythm the same. The horse is really paying attention here and got his focus. The serpentine going from 3/4 line to 3/4 line, so looking to evenly space it out throughout the arena, lengthwise but also widthwise, so it looks even across the centre line. Don't want it weighted on one side more than the other, but really tricky to get that placement right. There's no markers for the riders to aim for. Oh, just unfortunate. Not quite squaring up and in that halt. Just not quite right in the preparation for it. So, but again, so such a quick adjustment from that left bend onto the straightness, and the rider's trying to get that accuracy over X, and sometimes not able to put the preparation in that they might be able to on that short side. Without any support from the track, it's very exposing, that line. The horse stretching nicely here, showing the relaxation. And as he turns for that final centre line. Horse walking in time to the music, and a really nice halt to finish. Very, very well done. Sergio really putting in a solid performance there for the Brazilian team. The horse not minding the applause from the crowd. And the horse just walking calmly out on a long rein, back to the trainer. Big, big pats for horse and rider. A really super job. A really nice, consistent work here. Big cheers from the kiss and cry box as he comes out. The horse's ears flopping out to the side, so relaxed, so happy. Really nice to see. And the score's just coming through in a moment. And the judge at E, 67.143, H, 72.321, C, 70.179, M, 66.786, and B, 69.286, with a final total of 69.143, and a good score for the Brazilian team, to go with Rodolfo's 75.195 earlier today. And their final rider will come forward tomorrow. But a very nice score for the Brazilian team. And a big improvement for Sergio after the individual. He goes into 8th provisionally in this Grade 1 class, with just 4 riders left to go. And the next rider, riding here as an individual, representing Portugal, Ana Isabel Motovega. She rides the 15-year-old Convicto. So riding as an individual here, Portugal has not brought forward a team, not qualified a team for this championships. So Anna riding for that individual result. To try and get in that top 8 who will qualify through to the freestyle on Sunday. So 8 riders per grade will go forward for the freestyle on Sunday to ride for that second chance of an individual medal. And Anna finished in 10th place in the individual championship on 70.286. So very close, that 8th to 12th rankings in the individual. So looking to build on that and put forward another Another solid test. And a good start, a good entrance here. This horse 15 years old and a stallion, and showed some really nice work in the individual, so really hoping for another consistent test from her to just given her the curse, the commentator's curse there, just jogged. Such a pity. Very quickly back and back into the swing of things with that nice solid rhythm. Just taking her time in the arena, using every stride. Riding really nice straight line there on that centre line. Keeping the rhythm, ready for this, preparing the horse for this left circle. So just wanting to see a little bit more suppleness there. You saw she just had to make a little bit of an exaggerated turn in that second part just to get the horse around the circle, not always bending really truly through the body, but did well to keep that rhythm the same and not interrupt it. So just looking at where she could get the bigger marks with this horse. The horse really taking the contact nicely forward and working into it. Just a couple of moments where the rhythm it just loses balance and the rhythm just slightly gets interrupted, but showing some good work here in this serpentine. Really keeping the focus on Anna as goes past that top corner. Just that few moments where there's a bit of a stumble, a bit of a loss of balance, or a bit of tension at times, and it just affects the rhythm a little bit, and unfortunately that halt not quite square, so that could be a little expensive. Showing some good steps here towards the end. And there's really a lot to like with this partnership. And still some marks to come for them. They've not hit their limit, which is really exciting, I think, as a rider. They always want to have that potential to improve, and the more this horse works over the back and just is a little bit softer through its body, and the suppleness comes and they can keep that rhythm consistent, there's even more in there, and a nice halt to finish. And those halts, so expensive or so so rewarding when you get the marks for them. But a really super test, another clean, consistent test. Just those unfortunate that jog at the start and a couple of moments of loss of rhythm, but yeah, really putting in these strong performances this week. Just see there that it's so obvious for the judges. They can be very expensive, very difficult to get right. And we'll just wait for those scores for Anna. Again, Portugal not having a team here, so riding as an individual.
And the scores for Anna is a motor rider and convict to Dressage
And they're just coming through. Judge at E, 66.071, H, 67.321, C, 69.286, M, 69.821, B, 69.107, and a final score of 68.321, which puts her into 9th place in this class provisionally. And this grade 1, a really, really high scoring class, and will be really tough to get in that top 8 that will qualify for the freestyle. So it's nice that these riders are able to ride these 2 tests to qualify, so they are guaranteed 2 opportunities in the arena and a chance to build on that first performance in the individual championship. And next into the arena, the second rider for Canada, Winona Hartvigsen. She rides the 19-year-old gelding Onyx. Winona finished in 8th place individually on a score of 71.893 in the individual championship. So again, looking to post a solid score to get inside that top 8, as well as putting forward a solid score for the Canadian team. So Canada with just 3 scores, so all scores will be counting scores. They have no discard score without that 4th rider. And Roberta's ride, Veruza, stood in the arena as a friendly horse for Winona. Riding into the arena as the sun sets on this BB arena. Currently ranked number 7 in the world on the FEI rankings for grade 1. That sign that just came in the top of your screen, we welcome the best riders in the world to Herning. And we've certainly seen that over the last few days. Some phenomenal performances, some massive scores. And again, just working with this horse to keep that rhythm consistent. We're looking for that clear 4-beat rhythm. And this horse not able to show some of the walks that we've seen to get the massive marks, but Winona doing a really nice job to ride this horse's natural rhythm in a really soft and consistent way in order to pick up those marks where she can. Just riding those lines really fluently into that circle. Really nicely in the frame, nicely into the contact. She just says there, just stay up, stay in front of me on that circle. Horses just with that tendency to sometimes use their head and neck to balance on that circle, but she's just picking him up, reminding him to stay in self-carriage and in front of her in a way that doesn't disrupt the rhythm or the work. Horse's ears just really nicely twitching back and forth, listening to Winona, and that sun really getting low enough, and you can see the shadows on the arena, and super halt, very nicely into that halt, and that's where she's really picking up these marks with the accuracy of the riding and preparation into these movements. Really riding those movements in 3 phases. The preparation to start the movement itself, and then the completion of the movement. Showing some nice stretch here. Taking that contact down. Just a little bit of resistance coming back up into that medium walk. Very quickly recovered from that and got the horse back ready for the final centre line. And into a nice halt to finish. A really good job by the Canadian rider here. Big pats for the horse. And such a lovely horse, such a willing horse. Just really giving a harmonious picture as a partnership.
Canada, only 3 participants, so all the scores will
So
count.
this score will count for Canada. The horse just walks out on a long rein. Really enjoyed that. Big pats from the Canadian supporters. And she punches her hand in the air to say we did it.
And here we go. Scores for
A very nice
Winona
test for Winona. That second score for Canada. That halt. And we should have the scores through for you in a moment.
judged to be 72.679, a total score.
And here we are, judged at E 66.607, H 69.107, C 66.250, M 68.929, and B 72.679 with a final score of 68.714. That second score for Canada. Roberta Sheffield to complete the team results tomorrow in the grade 3. So no drop score for Canada. All three scores will count.
Championship presented by Dressage.
And this next rider into the arena, representing Ireland, Michael Murphy rides the 15-year-old gelding Clever Boy, and they were he was definitely a clever boy. They were bronze medalists in the individual. Michael's first medal. What a moment for him after the disappointment he had in Tokyo. Really coming back from that here and putting in a very, very good performance on the world stage up against the very best in the world. And a very competitive, strong grade 1A championship. Michael rides as part of the Irish team.
So second participant for Team Ireland now, Michael Murphy and
Michael, the second rider to come forward for Ireland. Rosemary Gaffney rode in the grade 4 earlier today. And Kate will ride in the grade 3 tomorrow, and Tamsin competing in the grade 5 also tomorrow. Michael also riding to get that individual qualifying spot for the freestyle so that he can ride for a second chance of an individual medal. Michael's had some really strong results with this horse. This horse, a former Grand Prix horse and a very, very good halt to start. Bringing in those high scores right from the beginning. And he now comes forward to... He's transitioned very successfully from the challenges at Grand Prix and the high levels and able-bodied to ride these walk tests. And there we go, he starts on an 82%. Very, very nice start for Michael. And it's really nice to see these horses that have competed at the high levels or able-bodied and almost been talent spotted for parasport, and owners looking at the horses and the qualities that they have and matching them up with para riders. The horses able to take a slightly easier path in terms of the physical demands on their body, but really needing to have the mental capacity for these championships. And it's really nice to see not all horses are capable of performing at the top level or have the ability to do that, and they might enjoy stepping down the level. For some horses, the challenge of the high level can be an additional stress that they can't always cope with, and sometimes that move to a different path or a different grade just gives them a lease of life and a fresh opportunity to compete on the world stage and at a really high level and do it really well, and they're happy doing that and good at it. So really nice with these owners getting behind the sport. Michael showing some really nice work here in this test. He doesn't have a huge amount of strength, and this horse quite big and powerful, so Michael really needing to use his body weight, use every aid to the best of his ability to bring out the best in this horse. The horse just staying in this big scopy walk throughout this serpentine. Michael doing well just to get his focus back. Just had a little sneaky look out that top corner. Michael using his body and legs just to try and refocus. He rides with 2 whips. Oh, nicely in front, just not squaring up behind. Riding with just 1 whip this way. On the right side, just to back up the weight and voice aids that he uses. Some riders opting to choose for 2, so you have that symmetry on both sides. But also another challenge for some riders, holding on to the reins and 2 whips. And for some horses it can be too much if they're not used to it and don't need it. So this horse responsive enough to respond to his aids and rely on just the one whip. And onto this last final centre line. And another very, very good halt for Michael to complete a very solid test once again. And a really nice performance. Michael is really having a great week at this championship, and it is so nice to see. He really struggled in Tokyo with a tack malfunction at the start of his individual test, and unfortunately that meant he wasn't able to compete in the freestyle. Just the results from the individual qualifying the riders through in that freestyle. He did come forward for the team test the following day, putting in a very solid score for the team out in Tokyo, but not able to compete for those medals on the final day. And my heart just went out for him. But he has more than made up for it here, I think, already with that individual bronze medal 2 days ago. So happy for him and his team. He's really upped his game over the last few years, and this horse has been a huge part in making that happen. And the score's just coming through now. Georgia E 78.036, H 77.857, C 73.929, M 75 and B 75.536 with another massive score of 76.072. So that second score for Ireland there. Rosemary riding in the grade 4 earlier today, but a huge score for Ireland. And a massive score for Michael, guaranteeing him a spot in that individual freestyle on Sunday. Really thrilled for Michael. A really good performance again, and so nice to see that horse so happy in this atmosphere. Really boding well for a good performance in the freestyle on Sunday. And a very nice score for the Irish team as well. And just one rider left to go in this hugely impressive Grade 1 class. Some massive scores led from the front by Richard Snickers for Latvia with that 80.393%, the first 80% we've seen at this championships in the para-dressage arena. And the last rider to go will be for Italy. Their second score for the Italian team. She finished in silver medal position in the individual championship earlier in the week, picking up that silver medal for Italy. Very experienced rider at a championship. It's representing Italy, Sara Morganti. She rides the 17-year-old mare Royal Delight.
Presenting the 17-year-old Royal Delight, owned by Esmioli,
putting in a very strong performance to take that silver medal. She finished just 0.2% behind Richard, who took the gold, on 78.393. So potentially a very high scoring score for Italy, and also looking to secure that individual spot in the freestyle as well. So the final rider in this Grade 1 class, and the final rider of the day for Italy, Sara Morganti. Really getting that straight entry, that good immobility in the halt to start. Not quite getting the horse as nicely square as Michael did to get that very high scoring entry, but still a very good start. Just showing that really nice change from the circle onto that diagonal, keeping the horse in a nice balance, and into this circle. Really technically challenging this test. Moving from the suppleness of the smaller circles onto the straightness of the centre line, and really highlighting any loss of balance or lack of suppleness and straightness within the movements. Onto that diagonal, so the rider's looking to hit the centre line just before X, so that they can set the horse up, start asking for that right body bend ready for the circle, really get the horse straight before moving into the circle from X, so that you can evenly distribute that circle either side of the EB line. really tricky placement when you're performing movements without the marker being there. You have to really look around and use that to try and get the placement right. And the sun just creating some shadows on the arena, but this horse not seeming to mind and just staying with Sarah. And a good halt there, not quite square behind, but in a nice balance and showing good immobility. This arena looking so nice as the sun is setting, and this music and this horse just really giving a relaxed, positive vibe here. You really have confidence in the horse, staying with Sarah, really listening. They've got such a strong partnership that they've developed over the years and really trusting each other. Sarah just picking her up there on the centre line, saying, stay with me, stay in front of me for this last centre line. And just a little bit wide in front, but a very good immobility for that final halt. Squared up behind, and big smiles from Sarah as she pats her horse. Nice wave to the crowd. She is very happy with that. And another really, really solid test from them. So consistent. Really enjoyable to watch. Such a nice partnership. And massive cheers once the trainer takes hold of the horse. Big, big cheers from the Italian supporters in the kiss and cry. And they're eagerly looking up at the scoreboard, waiting for those scores to come through to see what she has done. I think she is pretty secure in getting that qualification through to the freestyle, but what can she do for the team?
Really nice scores for Sarah McGanty and Roy tonight. I think she will be happy. So here we go.
And the scores just coming through in a moment. And I think it's a good one, and it is. Georgia E 76.607, H 78.036, C 75.893, M 78.571, and B 77.143. So a massive 77.250 puts Sarah into second place in this class, and a definite qualification through for that freestyle on Sunday, and a huge contribution to the Italian team result. And you can see Carola Sempaboni earlier posted a really nice 72.5, so two very nice scores for Italy today. And here are the final result for this Grade 1 competition. Richard Snickers leading the way with King of the Dance on a massive 80.393. Sarah Morganti close behind, 77.250. And Michael Murphy in that third place again for Ireland, 76.072. Those top 8 riders' scores combined with the scores from the individual. 10th to 16th, Sergio just sits inside the top 10 for Brazil on that 69.143 score. And those scores being combined with the scores from the individual earlier in the week to decide that top 8 result going through for the freestyle. but the same result as the individual, the 1, 2, 3, Latvia, Italy, Ireland, and a massive scoring grade 1 class. So here are the team standings after day 1. Austria out in front, Spain in second, and the United States of America in bronze. But those scores will certainly change after tomorrow. So some nations with a complete set of team scores, some with, you can see there, Netherlands in 10th and Great Britain in 14th. Those scores with just one counting score at the moment after those drop scores were factored in. But what a day. Richard Snickers here takes the lead with a massive 80.393, riding as an individual here for Latvia. Sara Morganti with that huge 77.250 sitting in second place. That qualification through for the individual freestyle, but that huge score for Italy. And Michael Murphy, third place again for him individually, securing that place in the freestyle and that team score for Ireland. So a fantastic day of competition, and we will be back tomorrow.